Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're doing something a little bit different. We are taking some incredibly vital research and wellness data and turning it into a structured, very practical workshop designed specifically for you. I'm going to be stepping in as your veteran wellness mentor today, and we are tackling a crisis that, let's be honest, almost every educator faces at some point: burnout. Teaching is, hands down, one of the most physically and emotionally demanding professions in the world. It is just so ridiculously easy to give absolutely everything to your students and leave literally nothing for yourself. But today, we're changing that. We're going to dive into realistic, everyday tools you can actually use to protect your energy. Let's get started. But hey, before we get into the data and the strategies, I want to break the fourth wall for a second and just ask you directly, how are you arriving today? I mean, right now, in this exact moment. Are you energized? Maybe you're feeling neutral, tired, stressed, or maybe you're just completely overwhelmed. Just take a quick mental note of your current state. Self-awareness is absolutely the first step toward regulating our well-being. So whatever word you just chose in your head, I promise you, you're in the right place. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll be covering the reality of burnout, your body under stress, a really great micro-reset breathing toolkit, daily mobility and habits, culture and leadership, and finally, something called the One Habit Promise. All right, section 1, the reality of burnout. And listen, as a mentor, I can tell you from personal experience that my own journey started with a level of burnout that literally led to a double hip replacement. I'm not kidding. Ignoring your limits has very real physical consequences. So if you've been feeling exhausted lately, you are absolutely not alone. Look at this stark statistic from the Teacher Wellbeing Index: 76%. 76% of all education staff are stressed, and 77% experience symptoms of poor mental health directly due to their work. These aren't just numbers on a screen. They are a massive wake-up call that we are dealing with a systemic crisis here. Your exhaustion, it is incredibly valid. Moving right along to section 2, your body under stress. I want you to treat this like a mental workbook for a second. What would you say are your top 3 energy drainers during the typical school day? The research constantly points to things like long hours just standing or sitting, the massive emotional load of managing a classroom, constant multitasking, and, of course, screen fatigue. Once you can pinpoint exactly what is draining your battery, you can actually start being strategic about how to recharge it. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why you feel so physically drained by those triggers. It's what we call the stress inflammation cycle. Basically, when you're constantly dealing with classroom management and making 100 quick decisions an hour, your body goes into a fight, flight, or freeze response. This kicks off step 1, elevated cortisol. Now that cortisol directly causes step 2, muscle tension and inflammation throughout your body. All that tension ruins your ability to rest, which leads us to step 3, poor sleep. And that, inevitably, drops you right into step 4, total fatigue and burnout. It's a brutal loop, right? Which brings us to section 3, the micro-reset breathing toolkit. Notice how we can actually categorize breathwork for very specific moments in your day. Think of these like built-in reset buttons. First up, 4-6 breathing. You inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6. Making that exhale just a bit longer than the inhale instantly calms the nervous system. It's perfect for daily stress relief or, right after a conflict. Then we have box breathing, which is amazing for sharp focus. And finally, the energizing breath. That's 3 short inhales through the nose, followed by 1 long exhale through the mouth. You can use this to really wake up your brain in the morning or to beat that classic afternoon slump. Just maybe avoid that one right before bed. Let's zoom in on box breathing for a second. It's so simple. You inhale for a count of 4, you hold that breath for 4, exhale for 4, and hold empty for 4 again. Tracing this square in your mind completely stabilizes your emotions and sharpens your mental clarity. This should be your absolute go-to technique right before a difficult parent meeting or before stepping into a really high-demand classroom moment. It essentially gives you your control back. All right, let's look at section 4, daily mobility and habits. As we know, standing or sitting all day absolutely wreaks havoc on your lower body. So here are some fantastic, really simple finishers to wrap up your day. For those tight hips, you gotta try a band-distracted hip flexor stretch. You just anchor a band at about knee height and lean forward. It's amazing. And if your calves and IT band are just screaming at you after a long day on your feet, grab a foam roller. Rolling from the hip down to just above the knee, or rolling out your calves while flexing your toes, releases all that deeply stored muscular tension. Now, the secret here isn't trying to cram a massive 60-minute gym session into an already packed schedule. Honestly, who has the time?
The real secret is micro reset moments. You can seamlessly weave these little 2 to 5 minute routines directly into your busy classroom transitions. Do some seated twists, maybe some shoulder circles, or just take 1 single minute to do that 4-6 breathing we talked about while your students are switching activities. You really don't need to get it perfect, you just need to keep moving your way.
But to support all of this, we need a baseline foundation. Here is a super simple daily habit checklist pulled straight from our sources. Try to aim for 1.5 to 2 liters of water every day and make it a habit to drink before you actually start teaching. Dehydration directly equals fatigue and headaches, for sure. As for sleep hygiene, try to maintain a consistent bedtime, limit your evening screen time, and dim those lights about an hour before you go to sleep. It sounds basic, but better sleep literally equals better teaching. Which transitions us nicely into Section 5, Culture, Leadership, and Empathy. It's a pretty stark contrast when you look at it. When teacher wellness is neglected, we see this huge negative ripple effect across the school. Higher absenteeism, decreased patience, and a totally noticeable increase in stress among the students. But when wellness is prioritized, you get the exact opposite. A well-rested, centered teacher actively models healthy emotional regulation for their students and naturally brings way more empathy into the room. You're basically creating a safe, inspired environment simply by taking care of yourself first.
And hey, this isn't just on you, the individual teacher. Teacher wellness is absolutely a foundational necessity for institutional excellence. School leadership has a massive role to play here. Leaders can actively support staff wellness and boost collective morale by doing things like using well-being surveys to identify real needs, fostering collaboration, and providing actually relevant professional development. True school excellence requires a healthy culture from the top down.
And that brings us to our final part today, Section 6, the One Habit Promise. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to set a weekly One Habit Promise. Step 1, pick just one useful strategy from what we covered today. Maybe it's drinking more water or doing that box breathing before your toughest class. Just one. Step 2, physically write down the words, "This week I commit to," and fill in the blank. Step 3, write down your why. Why does this specific habit matter to you? And finally, Step 4, share it with a colleague to keep yourself accountable. We are not trying to change your entire life by tomorrow morning. Just pick one single habit. So, I'm asking you right now, what is your one habit promise this week? Take a second. Decide right now, what small, manageable lifestyle change are you going to actually fit into your busy school schedule to protect your energy? I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful thought from our sources. You can't light the way for your students if your own flame has burned out. Your wellness matters. Your boundaries matter. Take that one habit promise, protect your flame, and lead from within. Because honestly, if you don't fiercely protect your own energy today, what are you possibly going to have left to give tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.